Dear students, we are continuing chapter number 30, Organism and Population. Now, last time you studied the pattern of growth. Two patterns of growth, exponential, and the second one is logistic. Today you will study about life history variation. You know, according to Darwin, every organism want to reproduce in maximum number. Organism evolved most efficient reproductive strategy during the process of evolution. Some organisms breed only once in their lifetime. Example is Pacific salmon fish and bamboo, which breed once in their lifetime. There are some organisms which breed many times in their lifetime, like birds and mammals. Some produce a large number of small sized offspring, like pearl oyster, pelagic fishes, while others produce a small number of large sized offspring, like birds and mammals. Ecologists suggest that life history traits of organisms have evolved in relation to the constraint imposed by the abiotic and biotic factor of the habitat in which they live. What is the meaning of this? Evolution of organism took place under the influence of biotic and abiotic factor of the habitat in which they live. Evolution of life history traits in different species is currently an important area for research being conducted by ecologists. Now, population interaction. You know, no organism can live separately in any habitat. A group of organisms is required for interaction, and this interaction among them is very much important. Though we call plant as autotroph, they can prepare their food by themselves, but they also depend upon factor of soil, microorganism of soil, which decompose complex substances into simpler one. They also depend upon some nutrient of the soil which is absorbed by them. Also, plant depend upon other animal which help in pollination. No pollination, no fertilization, and no life cycle of plant is continued. So, no organism can live in isolation. Always a group of organisms is required to maintain their existence. Now, these organisms may interact among the same species, that is called intraspecific competition, interaction, or they may compete with other species. This is called interspecific interaction. Now these interaction of organism are of six types. First is mutation. In mutation, both the species are benefited. Two organisms live together and both are benefited. Second is competition. In competition, out of two, none is benefited. Both are harmed. Predation. One is benefited and other species is harmed. Parasitism. Same thing. One species benefited and other species is harmed. Commensalism. One species is benefited and second species get nothing. Third is amensalism. Here one species is harmed and second species get nothing. So these are six types of interaction among the species of a population. Now we will study one by one. First is predation. One organism is benefited, another one is harmed. When we consider predation, so what thing comes in our mind? Lion killing the deer. In predation, one organism is strong and that is called predator, and second organism is weak, it is called prey. When we, although animal eating plants are categorized separately as herbivore, they are in a broad ecological context not very different from predator. How can we say plants are also predator? Some insectivorous plant, they catch the insect and digest the protein of insect for their benefit. So it is also a kind of predator and prey relationship. Plant is predator and insect is prey. Now, when certain exotic species are introduced in any new area, because there is no predator, species would flourish to its maximum. Now, because the predator is absent in this new area. Example is in Australia, the prickly pear cactus introduced cause havoc by spreading rapidly into millions of hectares of rangeland. Finally, the invasive cactus was brought under control by introducing a cactus feeding mode in that habitat. So why cactus was flourishing to its maximum? Because there was no predator. But as soon as a mode which eat cactus was introduced into the habitat, the growth of the cactus became limited. Biological control method adapted in agricultural pest control are based on the ability of predator to regulate the prey population. Predator also help in maintaining species diversity in a community by reducing intensity of competition among competing prey species. In rocky intertidal communities of American Pacific coast, the starfish physeter is an important predator. In a field experiment, when all the starfish were removed from an enclosed intertidal area, more than 10 species of invertebrate became extinct within a year because of interspecific competition. What is the meaning of this? The starfish physeter, it was predator, and prey were the invertebrate. When invertebrate were removed, starfish did not get the food. So, 10 species of invertebrate became extinct within a year because of interspecific competition. If a predator is too efficient and overexploit its prey, then the prey might become extinct, and following it, the predator will also become extinct for lack of food. It means both predator and prey, they depend upon one another, and a delicate balance exists between the two. Some species of insect and frog have adapted cryptically colored camouflage to avoid being detected easily by the predator. Some organisms like frog are able to change the color of the skin according to the habitat. In green habitat, they assume green color. When they come out after estivation from the soil, they assume brown color. It is to protect them from their predator. Majority of parasites harm the host, and they reduce the survival, growth and reproduction of the host. Parasites are classified into three categories. Endoparasites, which live inside our body, like Ascaris, tapeworm, E. coli are, sorry, not E. coli, like tapeworm and Ascaris are endoparasite. Because they live inside our body, they develop some adaptation. Tapeworm has hook, sucker, and they respire anaerobically. Because they live away from the atmospheric oxygen, they have adapted very well for anaerobic respiration. Ectoparasites live outside our body, like bedbug, lice, and other ectoparasites. They don't have much adaptation. They suck the blood from the body. Brood parasitism. Third type of parasitism is brood parasitism. During breeding season, that is spring to summer, cuckoo, Miss Koel, lays egg in the nest of crow. The egg of crow and quail are more or less similar. So the crow in the neighborhood. It take care of the egg of cuckoo, incubate them, and when the new one comes out, it is the new one of the coil. So this is called brood parasitism. So parasitism is of three types: ectoparasitism, endoparasitism, and third one is the brood parasitism. Commensalism. In commensalism, one partner is benefited and other partner gets nothing. Example is orchid, an epiphyte which grow on mango tree. This orchid get attached with its root system into the mango tree. The root system goes deep into the old trunk of mango tree. When the orchid is very well fixed with mango tree, it absorbs water, nutrient and other thing from the mango tree. Soon this orchid develop other types of aerial root. These roots are hanging from the mango tree. These roots are called epiphytic root. They absorb moisture from the atmosphere, and this way the orchid grow very well on mango tree. It does not take anything from mango tree except the physical support. So epiphyte is not a parasite. It takes nothing from the host, but it takes only support from the host. Orchid has green leaf, so it can prepare its own food. Second example is cattle egret. Egret is a kind of bird called heron, white bird. This bird is generally found sitting on the back of grazing animal. When animal move through the forest, the insect and other small organism, they start flying from the leaves of the forest. Heroine get food in the form of these insect and microorganism. So, if the egret does not find support on the back of the cattle, it will not get its food. Again, in this example, cattle get nothing, but egret get food from the forest leaves. Third example is sea anemone. Sea anemone belongs to phylum Coelenterata, to which Hydra belongs. Specialty of this phylum is tentacle. These tentacles have stinging cell which secrete a poisonous substance and make the prey unconscious. So if there is an empty shell of snail means shank. If there is an empty shank snail, then sea anemone sit on the roof of this snail. So sea anemone get fixed on the roof of the snail, and hermit crab get inside the shell of the snail. Repeating, if there is an empty shell of the snail. Snail means shrunk. So, sea anemone sit on the roof and hermit crab goes inside the empty space of the shell. So, when this hermit crab moves, the sea anemone also move from one place to other places. And whatever eaten by hermit crab, the leftover pieces are taken up with the help of tentacle by the sea anemone. So again here the hermit crab get nothing from sea anemone, but sea anemone get food with the help of hermit crab. So these are three examples of commensalism. One is orchid living on mango tree. Second is cattle agate, a white bird called heroine. And third one is sea anemone. Next process is mutualism. What is mutualism? It is the interaction between two organisms and both species are benefited. Already you have studied lichen, where algae and fungi live in close association. Algae prepare the food for the plant and fungi help in fixation with the soil and absorb mineral from the soil. So both organisms are benefited. That is called symbiosis. Second example is the cyanobacteria. Cyanobacteria are blue-green algae. You have studied they fix atmospheric nitrogen, turn this nitrogen into protein and other nitrogenous compound. So, these cyanobacteria give plant protein and nitrogenous compound, and the photosynthetic plant give them food. So this is about cyanobacteria. What is mycorrhiza? A fungus which live in close association with the plant root system of Pinus. Pinus plant have profusely branched root system. Mycorrhiza form a network around the root system of the plant. So mycorrhiza absorb phosphorus mineral from the soil and supply plant these phosphorus and mineral. In turn, plant supplies sugar to the mycorrhiza. It is a fungus. It cannot prepare its own food. So food in the form of sugar provided by plant, and it provides phosphorus and other nutrient of soil to the plant. One other relationship is between plant and animal. Animals pollinate plant. You know, without pollination, no fertilization, no fruit and seed formation. So, animals get nectar and other nutritious substances from the plant. In turn, plant are pollinated by these insects. So, both organisms are benefited. There are some organisms which are called cheaters. Cheaters means some animal that try to steal nectar without helping in pollination. Now we can see evolution of plant and pollinator took place with the same line. Now one more example is a fig species. The fig species has a tight relationship with pollinator wasp. It means a given fig species can be pollinated only by its partner wasp species and no other species. The female wasp uses the fruit not only for egg laying but uses the developing seed within the fruit for nourishing its larvae. So, larvae are nourished by the seed and the ovary is used for deposition of egg. The wasp pollinators the fig inflorescence while searching for suitable egg laying site. In return for the favor of pollination, the fig offered the wasp some of its developing seed as food for the developing wasp larvae. So here also fig is pollinated by wasp and wasp get placed in fig ovary to deposit its egg and its larvae feed on the seed of the fig. So these are example of mutualism. Now orchid also shows example of mutualism. The pollinator are bees and bumblebees and they ensures guaranteed pollination. Not all orchid offer reward. The Mediterranean orchid offers employ sexual deceit to get pollination done by a species of bee. One petal of its flower bear resemblance to the female bee in size, color and marking. The male bee is attracted to what it perceives as a female. Means male bee is attracted towards the petal which is like a female bee. Male bee pseudo-copulate with this petal and during that process male bee dusted the pollen rain from one flower to other. So process of pollination also take place here. When this bee pseudo-copulate with another flower, it transfer pollen of this flower to other flower. So here we can see co-evolution of two factors, bees and orchid took place together. Female bees color pattern change even slightly for any reason during evolution. Pollination success will be reduced to will be reduced unless the orchid flower co-evolve to maintain the resemblance of its petal to the female bee. It means if there is any change in the color and size of the orchid petal, the pseudo-copulation would not take place. So these are some example of mutualism. Now, what is amensalism? In amensalism, one partner is harmed, other partner gets nothing. You know penicillin secrete. Penicillin is a fungus. This fungus secrete a chemical penicillin. Penicillin kills the bacteria. So bacteria is harmed by penicillium fungus. In turn, the fungus get nothing from the bacteria. So this type of relationship is called amensalism. So these are some different type of relationship. So with this chapter is over. Soon I will send you question answer and MCQs of this. Now dear student, whatever chapters are taught by me, whenever you get time, go on revising this chapter. Bio needs many revisions, and without revising you will forget this. So go on revising the chapter whenever you are free.